Hello again everybody, welcome to YS Khong Driving again, and we are on part 2 of our drive to Penang. We've done the fuel consumption test and a little bit of winding roads, and now we are just driving on the highway and we're going to see how this car behaves. Okay, right now we are driving at about 85-90 kilometers per hour, and I can tell you the hybrid is very silent. Yes, so according to figures from Toyota, the hybrid runs a bit quieter than the normal Cross, and yes, we can confirm that. And also, yes, I've confirmed the CKD model now comes with acoustic windscreen in the front. And earlier I made a mistake. I said the battery was a different type. Well, I just like to confirm it is a nickel metal hydride battery. Yes. And we did a fuel consumption test and we got 4.9 liters per 100. And then after that we took turns, myself and my drive partner Yap Kam Fu, and we drove also at quite some high speeds and all that. But I'd like to report that since we did not reset the meter, we now have a fuel consumption of 6.3 liters per 100 kilometers, as you can see on the camera in front of you. And we have used up a little bit less than half a tank because according to the meter gauge on the right there, or which you can't see, we are slightly above half tank. Now, considering that this is a 36 liter tank, it's quite remarkable. Our distance we have traveled is 238 kilometers. Yeah. And now we're going to drive this car and share with you some more impressions. And as usual, we are stuck in a jam. I have no idea why we are stuck in a jam. It's almost 3 o'clock. It's 2:50 in the afternoon. But my clock on the car says 11:25. Well done.
Haven't set the clock.
Yeah, we have not set the clock. It says 11:25 a.m. I didn't look at the time this morning, so we might have started very early. Oh, there are two clocks. There's a clock on the center infotainment system, and that says it's 14:51. But down there in the instrument panel it says 11:25. Okay, so now we learned something new. The two clocks are not synchronized. Okay, so while we are waiting, let's talk about this. So you cannot see Yap Kam Fu, but you can participate in this talk.
Yeah, sure.
So the question now is the dilemma. Should I buy this hybrid now? Or should I wait or maybe buy another car that is a plug-in hybrid? Or should I buy a fully electric car? And I can tell you guys, all these three cars are available in this country now. A hybrid, a plug-in hybrid, and a fully electric, battery electric vehicle. Of course, they are spread across different brands lah. So the dilemma now the consumer has is, should I buy a hybrid? Should I buy a plug-in hybrid? Or should I buy a full battery EV? Okay, so let's share some thoughts. The hybrid car is what they call a transition model, and that's what I actually want to call it, because to move from internal combustion engine to electric cars is going to take quite a bit of work, and it's not just the car manufacturers to make the electric car, but it's also about the battery life, cost of batteries, so, and also the environmental impact of batteries, because the batteries actually use a lot of rare earths and materials that are hard to get and are therefore expensive. So batteries are relatively very expensive. Yeah. And so that is one. And then the other one is disposal of batteries. There's no really good system. And of course, also running electric cars, the question is whether there is any real saving to the environment, because like in Malaysia, a lot of our electricity is still being produced in coal-fired generator sets, and therefore going into an electric car means you're just transferring the pollution from your car engine to the plant, because the plant still has to burn more coal in order to make the electricity for your car to move. So if you say you're going green, you're not going green. So the only way to integrate all of it is to have maybe wind power, solar power, or water power, which is abundant in supply. But of course, you got to get the right infrastructure to harness that power, and if you do, then you can say you are actually going green. But as long as you're burning coal, well, it's neither here nor there lah. Then the other one is about the car makers. Well, somebody told me that to make an electric car is much cheaper. Yes, maybe so, but I think the battery is one element that also costs a lot of money. So maybe there's no real saving, because if it's cheaper to make an electric car, why are we not selling the electric car cheaper than an ICE car? Yeah, because it is the battery. Now, the other thing is, of course, the infrastructure for the user. That means you and I. If I buy a fully electric car, then I have to charge the battery. Now, in the old days when we had this, or rather when we look at having a plug-in hybrid, and usually the car maker gives us a car that's a plug-in, then they give you this extension cord that you plug into your house current and say, hey, don't worry, YS, you plug in tonight, tomorrow morning is fully charged. Yes, so that happens. But then we get this fully electric car, and the battery is maybe 5 or 6 times the size. I don't know, but it's actually the whole floorboard is full of battery. And then there was one car that I had, and if I plug it into the house current, it will take about 30 hours. Okay, so that's a long time to charge a battery. Yeah, because that's a lot of battery. It's no longer like the plug-in hybrid that you can charge for 7-8 hours, because it's a much bigger battery. And so the other one is about other than the home, you need to have what you call places where you can charge your battery, and that I suppose that's where the new role of the filling stations or gas stations is going to be. They're going to have charging stations there, or maybe the infrastructure says you need to have a totally different type of building or thing. And then can you imagine, instead of having to just wait 10 minutes or 15 minutes to fill up your car with petrol, you probably have to sit there, because the fastest charger now, which costs an arm and a leg, will take you about an hour, 50 minutes to an hour to fully charge a fully electric car. So your lifestyle has to change, your driving habits have to change, and also your travel itinerary has to change, because you got to actually stop the car and get the thing charged. So maybe one day they will have replacement batteries where you pull in, they take 2 minutes to take out your battery, and then they shove another one in, like the remote control racing cars. That takes about 5 seconds to change battery, and then they keep on racing again. So maybe one day it will come to that, but we haven't come to that yet, so we don't know. I know that for some industrial users like bus and trucks, they do have battery stations where you can actually go and change your battery. But for cars, it hasn't happened yet. Maybe because the truck, you can have the whole bank of battery, there's a lot of space underneath the floorboard, you can just shove it in. But for a car, the battery is on the floor itself, and so that it may not be such an easy mission to accomplish. So then what about plug-in hybrid? I think plug-in hybrids are okay. They are just an extension of the hybrid. So again, they are also transition models, and I'm okay with plug-in hybrids because plug-in hybrids have a little bit of advantage here over a hybrid. In that they can run for quite a distance. Some of them I've seen run up to 30 or 40 kilometers strictly on battery power alone, and therefore it's good. So you charge your car up overnight, and if you live close enough to the office, then you can basically run your car to office and back without having to worry about fuel. But of course, there will be occasions when you run out of battery, then that's where the engine works. Okay, so that being the case, I think for the time being, the hybrid and plug-in hybrid, they are great cars, and they are just right for what we want to do now, until we get a better, what you call, infrastructure system. And I think in a case like this, it's always good to wait. Yes, you can get to the forefront and you can buy yourself an electric car, but if you are buying an electric car, you must look at maybe having another car just in case, and you got to be careful where you use it. Let's say if you're trying to go to Penang from KL, then you better plan your journey carefully, because you better not run out of battery, or else you can plan to stop in Ipoh for a recharge, and then maybe you want to spend a couple of hours, you know. And but having said that, there are not that many recharging stations in Ipoh, and if you happen to plan, oh, I'm going to spend 2 hours in Ipoh and have lunch while I charge my car temporarily so I can get enough power to get up to Penang, then you come here and you find there another car already charging on the station, and there are another 3 cars waiting in line, then your whole program is thrown upside down, right, Mr. Yap?
Yep.
Okay.
Definitely.
So that's all we're going to talk about, whether to buy a hybrid, plug-in hybrid or battery electric car. So in this context, I say at this time, I think the hybrid is the best combination, because you know why? It's cheaper. The battery is much smaller to replace, and well, the Toyota hybrid system is a very well proven system. This is the 4th generation, and we also hear of Prius that have been running around for 6 years, and there is no failure. Alright then, so that's it for our talk on which car to buy, and let's get on with the other part of the test.